Things to think about this weekend after a very long, exhausting few days at ADIPEC 2017. I think ultimately the big takeaway from what is now, I believe, the world's largest gathering of the oil and gas industry is the fact of optimism has returned to the sector. It does feel like the outlook for 2018 is a much brighter than when we met in Abu Dhabi a year ago, where the music was a little bit more sober. So I think the outlook is positive. That Gulf Intelligence, we've been conducting surveys to how people are feeling about the year ahead, and generally speaking, the expectation of oil prices climbing closer to $70 than $60 seems to be on the cards in the year ahead, as essentially fundamentals tighten between supply and demand. There was also a lot of news at ADIPEC this year. ADNOC announced they're going to be IPOing a minority stake in their distribution company. Of course, that brings the liberalization of the Gulf national oil industry a little bit closer to home here in the UAE, after we saw the news last year of Aramco planning a major IPO next year. So we'll have to keep an eye on that space. Further liberalization in the Gulf national energy industry. We also saw Platts announce their global LNG report, which continues to bring LNG front and center to the markets. Increasing numbers of spot trading in LNG. Big story for the year ahead. We've also seen the Sharjah National Oil Company announce that they are moving ahead with their project to build the UAE's third floating regasification unit in Sharjah. That's also another big story for 2018 we'll have to keep an eye on. And many other news broke this week at ADIPEC, including the international industry, the national sector continuing to evolve, and we're going to have to see where it all moves. But it certainly gives you pause this weekend as you're drinking your coffee, reading your Financial Times, to think how much more liberalization can we see in the national energy industry here in the Gulf, the home to the world's largest oil and gas reserves. That's a big story, plays out every week, every month these days, and it will certainly be a theme of 2018 with the Aramco IPO as the headline.